our hero takes a bullet, and this is the first time ever in Disney your hero gets shot. And welcome back to the pond, where it's the bullfrog and the one, the only Newt.
Face reveal at 100,000 subscribers.
If you're new to the pond and you want to know why are we, how are we over-analyzing these Disney villains and trying to figure out where they are, we're doing it through a formula. If you want to know the details of the formula, click on this. And here's the basics. The formula is split in half. There's a mathematical and essay side. With Bambi's Hunters, the part 1 is the mathematical side. So click on here if you want to see that description. But now part 2 is the acts of villainy, the essay. And the essay is going to help us determine where do the villains go. And if we want to talk Bambi's Hunters, let's talk about the most obvious, the reason why, and what we kind of glossed over a bit. The death of Bambi's mom. And probably, I think, one of the greatest deaths of Disney that wasn't able to be topped until Mufasa. But I'm going to be honest, I think Bambi's mom's a lot more traumatizing than Mufasa. Mufasa is more like preparing Simba to become a king. Fatherhood, I am not trying to bring down. Far from it. We all love our fathers. We all love that relationship of a father. But there's something far more special with our moms. I mean, after all, they knew us before we breathed air. And also, when every sportsman wants to talk, is going to give their big speech, who's the first person they think? I think this is the reason why Bambi's mom's death is so prophetic to us. So when it goes, Bambi's mom is no more, ouch. But it's the build-up also to Bambi's mom. It's kind of obvious. However, I think we should go a little bit farther now. Now let's see the aftershock of Bambi going through, asking for his mom. There's a multi-level shock to Bambi's mom's death. The act, the aftershock, the suddenness of it, and then Dad explaining it.
Your mother can't be with you anymore.
And that moment where there is no music, where Bambi is processing this and then realizing it. And his dad is not being, well, a Disney parent. I can't believe I'm saying this, but again, Disney's Bambi has cojones. I mean, your mom is dead.
Come.
How about a little something therapeutic so we can connect a little bit more, so that way you can say, hey, father, son?
My son.
That's it? Yeah, that's a shocker. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Because under this is the third time where man enters. Not the first time. This third time when man enters on the film. Because there's a lot more that's happening here. The sheer size of it is bigger. Because before the third time happens, It's only been one hunter this entire time. One hunter killed Bambi's mom. One hunter took 2 shots at Bambi's family. But again, we need to establish the third time when man comes. Again, this is way more than one. And this time, they brought the hounds.
Release the hounds.
Of course, we don't see them till later on, but still. What happens when when man comes in the third time? The pheasants tell us.
Listen. He's coming. Hush. Be quiet. He's coming closer. Be calm. Don't get excited. We'd better fly. No. No, don't fly. Whatever you do, don't fly. He's almost here. I can't stand it any longer.
That happens. And when that first death happens, begins the shooting spree. Newt, do me a big favor. Get this spot ready for our times, which means we have to go to our handy dandy notebook. Okay, the time slot where the third time gunshots were being fired was 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Okay. Within those 2 minutes, this was when man was on screen. But to be technical, within those 2 minutes, over those 2 minute marker, 40 seconds of that was just gunshots being fired. And that began when that pheasant fell down. And together we're gonna count how many animals were killed so we can just see what the body count is in this film. And so let's play and begin the clip, Newt. Wow. That was a little bit more. I think we counted up to 6, but also we kept that second counter where it's showing you the gunshots that were fired. I mean, and you may notice that was a pretty high number too. Weird Al was right. Trigger has a lot of gunshots fired. And there was a whole lot going on there. And you may notice that when they were running away, they stopped and ran back towards the guns being fired. I think that was the dogs coming. That was that foreshadow. Because after that, seconds later, Feline stops, the last bullet was fired. Then the hounds.
Release the hounds.
It was a trap. These suckers laid a trap for the hounds to get, which leads us to the doe in distress. Wow. This Disney movie is just showing off how crazy this movie is, and let's face it. Are you man enough to be Bambi? Really, people, are you man enough to be Bambi? Are you man enough to go into wild, feral dogs just to save your girl? Are you willing to do that? I'm single. I don't need to answer that question just yet. Whew, this is a whole lot more for the villainy that is the acts of man. And this is still in the third part. And this is not even counting the fire. How many animals did that kill? And how many homes that made animals vulnerable? We here in the pond are not that smart. But I know there's an episode on film theory trying to establish who kills the most in a Disney film. And I think they point that out. So if you want to know how big of a toll of death did man use in Bambi, go to there. Here, we're just going what we can see. And that's about 6 deaths. Well, actually, yeah, we have to add Bambi's mom. So 7 deaths. And about how many shots fired? There was like, what, 14? Plus the second time and the first time. So around 18 bullets have been fired in this wimpy deer of a film. Whew. And so the acts of villainy is at its 2/3 mark. We have to get through the first time man comes. Why does this one need to be reserved for last? Because what Bambi mom says and what Bambi's dad does. Because let's be honest, people. Bambi is probably Walt Disney's manliest film he did, or the company has done. I mean, we kind of established it in our first episode what happens when man enters the field for the first time. He changes the colors, going from the greens and browns to these yellows and reds. And you see how Bambi's family gets separated. Mom is not with Bambi. Bambi's alone. He's lost in the middle of nowhere. And suddenly, he's alone. He's vulnerable. Biology is saving Bambi right now. He can blend into the grass, but only for so long. He's an easy kill. Let's make the kill even easier. I'm going to go back to my son. And you see this. What his dad does, he runs over, finds Bambi, and just looks at him. Look at this, people. Bambi's dad is just looking at him, knowing that there's a hunter out there. Just keeps his eye contact with his son. His mom comes, and they leave the screen, and then the gunshots get fired. And as we can see from the beginning of this whole episode, Bambi's mom being killed, and then that shooting spree, these guys weren't just being kind. They wanted to kill Bambi's mom. They wanted to kill Bambi. They wanted to kill Bambi's dad. We said it before, and we'll say it again. This family in Disney was taking shots. Also, that is cojones. Are you willing to run into a pack of feral dogs? Are you willing to run back to your son and keep eye contact with him and never look behind you? Bambi, are you man enough? Wow, people. I'm saying things I never thought I said. The Coachman took me to a dark place. I was saying things I didn't thought I would be comfortable saying. And now I'm saying things that makes me challenge me being a man. It's because of Bambi. This acts of villain, seeing who's the biggest, really opens your eyes to the Disney company's a lot more diverse, people. And more than that, Bambi's an underrated film. And with all this said, what was the whole point of that? I mean, other than Bambi being far more boss than you realize. No, it's what Bambi's mom says next. After that whole chaos, what does Bambi's mom say?
Man was in the forest.
Yeah. That's why when man first enters on screen needs to be said last. Man was there. The mere presence is evil enough. I mean, it almost feels like those the villains pub should have Bambi's hunters there. They could all be looking at Bambi's hunters and going, what is it about you that makes you so evil? And Bambi's hunter could just look at them, cock his gun, and just say this. I exist. Darth Vader has to walk on screen. Freddy, Jason, and Mike Myers, they need to cut someone up to be us to be scared of them. The shark has to eat people. Bambi's hunters are not on screen, but yet just being there is villainous. So, where would we put this thing? And it's quite obvious. Bambi's hunters is in the red. Who knew? No, really, who knew? this was going to happen. Out of everything we've done so far, this is probably the real reason why this is a two-parter. And please, leave it down in the comments. Who do you think is going to be the next two-parter? These are underdogs for a reason, people. And here in the pond, we are learning with you. And by all means, what we've been gathering and by watching these Disney movies so far, some of them are surprising when you look at them through formula. All I can say is, this is just the classical age. We haven't gone near to the dark age of Disney, or the Disney Renaissance, or the early 2000s. And this is all the way up to Tangled. What more will Disney give us? So leave down in the comments who's the next underdog, and also who you're putting your money on. We want to know, people, who do you think is going to win? We want more comments because it helps us grow. And also, I'm genuinely curious. I love hearing people's opinions. And I also like to learn if you give us something, and when we get to it, did it fulfill? I like to know. We like to know. And till next time, it's the Bullfrog and the Newt, now signing off.